Hello everyone, this is Soham Gupta back with a powerful video on my chess learnings. Starting from a beginner level, we are now entering the elementary phase of the chess game. In one of our previous videos, we had learned about the three phases of the game that are opening, middle game, and the end game. We have also gone through the golden basic opening rules, which will definitely help us to play a very good opening game. So now I am here to take you into the sea of the middle game. A middle game consists of two major types of visions. Number one, the positional vision, and number two, the tactical vision. For an elementary player, it is necessary for him to work on his tactical visions at early stages of his career, and as it makes life easier for him at the chess board. So, friends, what do you mean by tactical vision? An idea with lots of combinations, strategies, plannings, threats, and tactics is known as a tactical vision. I repeat, an idea with lots of combinations, strategies, plannings, threats, and tactics is known as a tactical vision. So today we are going to learn about two of those tactical concepts which will help every elementary player to play a more aggressive game. The two famous tactics are double attack and pin. Yes, you heard it right. Double attack and pin. I hope that many of you have heard from your guardians that chess is a game of strategies and techniques, but no one has ever expressed what are those specific strategies. Now, I am here to share all those powerful strategies of chess in my upcoming videos. So friends, don't forget to subscribe this channel. Alright, let's start with an amazing concept of the double attack in chess. What is double attack? Double attack is an attack against two or more enemy pieces target at the same time. Or in the simple language, we can also say attacking two or more pieces at a single time with our single piece is a double attack. I will explain this with a few examples and I'll also give you puzzles to try during this learning. My first example is here. White plays d4, knight f6, knight f3 from white, c5 from black, bishop comes to f4, pawn c takes d4 or pawn is taken on d4, then knight takes d4, and now here comes our first fork, that is via pawn e5. This pawn e5 is a fork as it attacks the knight on d4 and also the bishop on f4. This is also known as a double attack. And now, if the bishop takes, now when the queen comes to a5, giving a check to king e1 and also attacking the bishop on a5, this is the second fork and is also a great example of a double attack. I hope that example would have helped you a lot. Now, I have a very simple puzzle for you. It is white to play here, and can you win a piece? Pause the video for 1 or 2 minutes and try to solve this simple puzzle. The solution for this puzzle is very easy, and I am sure that you also have got it. So, the correct answer will be by first giving the check from rook d2 to rook d7. This gives a check on king g7, and after trading via rook c7 takes d7 and rook d1 takes d7, it gives a double attack on both the king, as you can see, and also on the black bishop. Thus, we have achieved our goal of the double attack. This was how we use double attacks in game. Now, I'm going to describe some different types of double attacks we can use in our games. Number 1. Piece and piece. That means when we attack two pieces of the opponent at the same time. I repeat, piece and piece. That means when we attack two pieces of the opponent at the same time. King and piece. It is a kind of forced double attack as player is forced to save his king and loses his piece. Like we just saw the example right here. This is an example of king on g7 square and a piece type of double attack. The last type of double attack is checkmate threat and a piece, the most dangerous and creative type of double attack. In this, we play such a move which gives a threat of checkmate to the opponent king and also simultaneously attack one of the opponent piece to make a creative double attack. You can check out my other videos where I have also explained about checkmates on the top of the video. Now, I hope that this powerful strategy of the double attack is clear to all of my friends. Before moving to our next topic, I would like to share an example of a famous game played between Susan Polgar and Boguslav in Budapest 1984. This is one of the positions from the match between Susan Polgar, that is from white, and Boguslav who is from black. Now here we have king on g1, white queen on f5, rook on e1, bishop on d6, and pawns b2, c5, f2, g2, and s3. And for black, we have king on g8, queen on a2, rook on e8, knight on f6, pawn h6, g7, c6, b7, and a7. Now, pause the video here and try to find how Susan Polgar used the concept of king and piece double attack to gain a piece. Now, comment down below if you got the answer right and also comment your answer. Now, I hope that you all have got the answer. The answer is Genius Susan played rook e1, that was here, takes rook to e8. After that, after knight e8, now here comes the moment. Queen f8 check. This is a move that provides a double attack to both the black king on g8 and black knight on e8. Thus, this is a very great example of the king and the piece double attack. Now, I hope that you all are clear with the concept of the double attack. Now, implement this strategy in your next game. Along with double attack, I will also be sharing a powerful weapon which is on the solid basic concepts of the Middlegames. This concept that we will be talking about is the pin. Yes, you heard it right. It is known as the pin. What is pin? What comes to your mind when you hear this word? Well, in general life, pin is something that we use to fix some material, whether it's a paper on board or something else, and it is very sharp. So, similarly in chess, we use the concept of pin. Pin is a powerful tactic in which we attack a piece in such a way that it cannot be moved normally. Moving that piece will result in an illegal move or loss in material. Let me explain this to you in a simpler way. A concept of the pin involves three participants. Number one, the pinning piece. Number two, the pinned piece. And third is the piece behind the pinned piece. As you can see in this position, where the king is on h1, rook is on e1, bishop is on b1, and the knight is on c4, queen c8, and king g8. In this position, if white will play bishop a2 here, you can see that the black knight cannot move from its square on the c4, as it will lead to the direct check to the king. So, in such a situation, we can say that bishop in this case is a pinning piece, knight is a pinned piece, and the king is the third participant. Sometimes we can also use this term in a form of a sandwich. The another important factor in this concept is that there are two types of pins available. The first is the absolute pin and the second is the relative pin. Yes, the absolute and the relative pin. In absolute pin, the pinned piece has no legal move because the piece behind it is the king. Yes, it is the king, which would be exposed to a check. In a relative pin, The pinned piece may move, but that would lead to severe loss of material in some cases, for example, the queen, or it might also allow the concept of checkmate. Please note that pieces those are able to make pins are the queen, rook, and the bishop. The queen, rook, and the bishop. So in this example, if white has moved bishop to a2, then it creates an absolute pin as the piece behind this knight is the black king. And if here, instead of bishop to a2, white would have moved the rook to c1 square, then in that case, this would be an example of a relative pin as the queen is behind the knight, and thus, even though the knight can move, it will still lead to the loss of material. Now, I want to show you a very lethal example of win most commonly used in an opening famously known as the Caro-Kann defense. Now, here the white player plays the move pawn to e4, pawn to c6, d4, d5, knight to c3, pawn takes pawn on e4. After that, knight on c3 takes knight on pawn on e4, and then knight d7 and queen e2. Queen e2 here is not a good move theoretically as it blocks the bishop from developing, and thus white's priority here is to develop the bishop. And suppose black plays a move, for example pawn g6, then this is a very big blunder. Here in this position, white can checkmate the opponent king in just one single move. Pause the video and try to find out how can white checkmate the black king on e8. Yes, you all got it right. The move is none other than knight e4 to knight d6. This is a simple checkmate as the black king has nowhere to go. This was a very simple trap in the Caro-Kann defense. Just like the double attack, I will show you a position from a very famous game played between Susan Polgar again and Ikiliki in Brussels 1985. Now in this position we have white king to g1, queen to h5, r to f1 and c1, bishop to e4, and pawns namely a2, f2, g2, h2. And for black we have king to g8, queen on d7, r b5 and on f8, knight is on e5, pawn is on h7, f7, e6, d4 and a7. It is white to play. Pause the video and try to find the solution for this move using the concept of the simple pin. And if you got it, then comment it down. And also comment that did you get my answer right or wrong. Alright friends, I hope that you all have found the answer. Yes, it is bishop c6 with a double attack. If the knight on e5 captures the bishop on c6 like this, then in that case the queen that you can see on h5 will go and capture the rook on b5, and thus in this case a relative pin is formed as the queen on b5 is attacking the knight on c4 or is pinning the knight on c4, and this leads to a relative pin as there is another piece and not a king behind the piece. Thus, Susan Polgar went on to win the game, and she also, with an additional rook, won an additional piece. Thus, this was a very simple example. Now, I hope that I have given enough examples on both the powerful strategies of Middlegames. I suggest you to see this video twice or thrice, and so that the concept gets clear to you, share it with all your friends who play chess at their home or with their guardians. They will also learn this concept very well. And now, if you like my video, keep sharing it, and if you are new to my channel, subscribe and click the bell icon so that you get immediate notifications when I upload my newest video. For loving my videos, for your likes and comments, I, Soham Gupta, with a wholehearted smile, giving a big thank you to my followers. That is all for my today's video. Will come up with another magical strategies and powerful concepts of chess in my next video. Keep watching us. Stay tuned and thank you.